Hey. Cliff. Got his sunglasses on here.
It looks a little different with the sunglasses on, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does.
Yeah. He's incognito.
So, should I just sit over there when
Couple at the
it's
back.
the cord that brought my brought a charger?
Why do we have this on?
Is everybody ready to roll?
I don't know. More power.
Hello. Okay, so we are going to start the planning committee meeting. It is 5:30. We up first for the discussion items is the appropriation of $6,500 for the July 11th Sunbow concert. So this, I think I read in the email that this is for porta potties, lights, sound, things like that.
Band fees.
Yeah, band fees.
They have a potential of making quite a bit, hopefully back, between the sponsors and the admission fee. So I know he was thinking that probably quadruple the amount back is what
Okay.
Do we
They
know
should
what they're
make.
charging for this? Like,
15 a person.
Is there any reduction if you're like a kid or senior citizen?
Per head, regardless of size.
Huh?
$15 a person, regardless of age.
That's really expensive.
it's a concert. It's just like anything else. It's a concert that was on The View. No, is it The View? No, not The View, The Voice.
Voice.
Yeah, so it's a concert that was on The Voice, and they sell out everywhere they go. So they're
Okay.
pretty excited about this. It's an adult concert. So I think I'm pretty excited that they went with this, and it's kind of like a soft opening yet celebration. And I think that they've really worked hard trying to get sponsors or sponsorships. I met with them, and I was able to get a couple sponsorships with them.
Okay.
So they do have sponsorships available. They are looking for additional sponsorships. They're going to have food trucks, and I don't know if Tyler has any other information. Chris had reached out to me with some help, and because like I said, the Sunbow project has been, I'm pretty, since we were really hard about that and we want it to be a success, I've been pretty involved with them, trying to see whatever I can do to help them and, kind of pushing it along as much as I can, so.
Yeah, I'm surprised this was on my agenda, not Parks and Recreation.
Well, I'm just a liaison. It's not a designated committee. It's an advisory board that I'm the liaison for, so.
Well,
And
do
it's planning. Planning goes along with Parks and Rec.
you want to add anything to the discussion, Tyler?
Well, functionally speaking, you guys have covered the main points pretty well, so.
Okay, well, excellent. So this will be a good time to showcase and purpose. Is anybody, we have the votes to move this on?
Yeah, I think it's a great thing.
All right.
I have a question about when you want council to vote on this.
Is it on for committee of the whole?
It's not.
Can it be added?
We can add it, but we do have a structural problem in that the vote didn't occur 3 days before the committee of the whole meeting. So what we can do, the alternative path, and this is kind of what I'm going to be talking about at the special meeting, is you can have an endorsement. I will gladly sign it, and as long as we have 3 council members, we can move it on for a vote in June.
Okay,
Is that okay with you? But I'll add, and then I'll ask the committee of the whole to amend the agenda to add this and any other item that may be moved on.
Yeah, that works.
that's fine. Okay. All right. The next one is an additional appropriation of $3,073.28 for the am I saying this right, Kubota
Yes.
tractor. You would think I would have heard this word enough times to remember the pronunciation. So this is looks like something, I don't even know what. Is there anybody who can speak to why this is over?
Yes, so the pricing that they had from the previous time we approved it the valuation was less for the vehicle that we were trading in, and the cost went up just a little bit between that quote period. So this is just a true up between those.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns about this one?
No, but it will get a lot of use.
I'm sure. Can I ask a question about Sunbow? Only because I just see this in the news so often. Do they like spray or do anything for ticks? Because I keep seeing stuff about ticks everywhere. They're really bad, and there's like a particular strain in Ohio that is somehow causing people to be allergic to meat.
That would be a question you'd have to call and send an
Okay.
email to Chris.
Because I'm assuming a lot of people are going to be in the grass. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can follow up with the rec director.
Okay. All right. I'm just asking. Sounds like I might have the tick algorithm since everybody hasn't heard of this one. All right, so the next one, offer to purchase city property fronting Woodbend Drive. I know Mr. Fosnight is here. I thought I saw him now. Okay, there you are. This came to city council a few months ago. Although I stated then that I was a little perplexed why it came to council and didn't seem to filter through the administration first. I know that myself and Amy visited Mr. Fosnight's property to look at what he's trying to do. I had some initial concerns about a water line that was near to the property, but it's nowhere near where he wants to go. So there is a very defined process that is outlined in the Ohio Revised Code as to how it would have to go in order for something like this to happen, because the Ohio Revised Code forbids a transfer like this directly from a government to an individual without going through a few things. The first thing that would need to happen is the city would need to provide Mr. Fosnight with a letter from the law director saying that there is no intended, that the city has no future interest in this property. So I don't know, because Mr. Semino's not here, or maybe we can ask the mayor if ever such a letter's been written. But that, again, that is a process that's outlined by the Ohio Revised Code. If that letter were to be given, the next step is that piece of land, and Mr. Fosnight, you could probably speak to how big it is, not very big.
Yeah, it's only 50 feet by the depth of my lot, which is like 120 or something like that.
Okay.
There were two corrections to what I said back in,
You want to come to the
Yeah, you
microphone?
need to come to the microphone. Nobody can hear you.
You had a drawing. I saw a big thing in your hand. If you want to lay that on the table or so that people can maybe see it or pass it around.
Can I just ask, do we really need to do all that? Because you didn't get to the important part, which is we can't sell you this land. The only way the city
Can
of Ravenna could sell this land is through an auction.
right, yeah, I talked to Frank Semino and he told me that.
It would have to go to an auction.
Sure.
And then after that, it would require by council a supermajority vote. I'm assuming that absolutely nobody else would ever be interested in that.
Yeah, it's not buildable.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody would ever, couldn't see there being a hot sale where you'd have people outbidding you.
Probably not.
So after that would take place, then it would have to come to council and it would take a supermajority. Now, that all being said, having seen where this would actually be proposed to go, and I know it's a lot of steps that I just talked about and it sounds laborious. I personally think that if somebody in Ravenna wants to enhance their property this way, I mean, we have enough problems with people who are determined to do the opposite. I don't, me personally, but I'm only one of 7 here, and I don't speak for the city, but I personally don't have a problem, but there is that process that needs to be undergone. And I don't know if Mr. Semino, what he said about providing this letter.
He was gonna start the process. When I
Okay.
talked to him, yeah, I actually provided him with this information because there were two things that were discussed, a couple months ago. And the first one, I was incorrect when I said it was part of Highland Avenue. It's not. And I found an old map that I got when I bought 40 years ago, and it was deeded by Ed Prusak to the city. Don't know why. There's that lot, and then there's two more on the other side of Woodbend Avenue. But they're both just listed as city property. Nothing's ever been done with them. The other side isn't swampy like this side, and that's the other question that came up. And it might have been Dr. Calfee. I'm not sure who brought it up about it being a wetlands.
I did.
Okay, you did. Okay, so I searched it through the auditor's office, and I found the wetlands maps, and it's about 800 feet from the closest wetlands.
Okay, so it's not a, it's
not
not an
close to
environmental
anything.
concern.
It's pretty much just wet because when Giant Eagle
Giant Eagle.
built, they clear cut the area, and they ran the water line, and so there's really, the drainage is not good at all. So it's wet because of that pretty much. Plus, there's a basin at the end of the street past my driveway where the water just dumps in. Well, it's Portage County Clyde, the water's not going to go anywhere. It may eventually seep in, but, so it just keeps it damp. It's all cattails.
Yeah, I saw that when I visited on probably the windiest day of the year, but
Oh, yeah, you could hardly hear the talk.
yeah, it was difficult.
But I'm willing to pass this around if you want to see it. It shows the lot next to my lot, and it also shows the wetlands from the Portage County Auditor's map that I took a picture of.
Is there anybody who would like to see it in person?
Sure.
Thank you for bringing that in.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know either, but that whole area back there, since they built that retention pond back in the woods, it's killed all the trees. I mean, there's hundreds of dead trees now back there because they dump water from the parking lot and the building. It all goes underground. It goes back to a pond, and there's no place for it to go except, sit there.
So I have a question. So it kind of seems like, oh, we go to auction, we do this. What does actual who pays for the auction? How does that process all work?
I think the sheriff does it.
No.
No?
Yeah, that's,
It's right here in front of me. It has to be advertised once a week for 5 consecutive weeks in a newspaper of general circulation within the municipal corporation. So, I mean, just to explain the process, the first thing that has to happen is council has to determine that there's no public use for this. It's not an interest, it's a public use.
I read into it, I thought from the ORC that it would have to be the city. It's not city council that gets to determine
No.
whether it's used, that it's used for the city.
Bob, were you able to answer that? Or Tim?
I don't know the ORC exactly, but I do know for the city to give away land, city council has to approve it.
Yeah, I know that.
And then if it's an asset, generally, from Mr. Smino has said it has to go to auction. I mean, think of just getting rid of mulch, we have to go to auction to get rid of mulch, unless we give it to the residents.
I felt when I read the Ohio Revised Code that the first step is that the city, the administration, why would council put value on the land? Why would that be in our purview?
We're not, we're basically doing the opposite. We're saying there's no value to the city, there's no public use.
But I thought that we do that determined based on something from the law director saying that
Well,
the city had no
I think,
use. What was this? I looked at, this is Ohio Revised Code 702 or 712 or something like
it's
that.
72103, lease or sale of real estate, advertisement for bids. There has to be a determination that there's no public use. I'm not sure where that's written, but it's not in this paragraph in this
I've looked at
code.
the Ohio Revised Code at work the other day and was working through it, and that determination I know definitively has to come from the law director. Because there's a step. Right, council's not going to determine that. It's the law director, that's how the process starts. Because if the law director says that if they say that there could be a future use for it, or that basically that the city's not amenable to sell it, council can only take action if the law director says, we can only proceed in the process if they say there's no future municipal plan to build on this, and basically this land is useless and we have no plans for it.
It's not that it's useless, it's that it doesn't have a public use.
Right, doesn't have
And
a
this,
public
this
use.
land has 4 defined public uses. It has a water line. It doesn't matter where it is on it. It has a water line. And I think it would be foolish for council to engage in a sale of property and then have to craft some sort of easement for this water line. There's potential for future, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bob, sewage lines. There's drainage issues.
That's current.
And the big thing, I think, in spite of what Mr. Fosnight said, it does help continue Highland all the way through to Route 14. If we ever wanted to develop Highland across Woodbend, which Woodbend also ends there, on paper, the 2 plots of land are owned by the city. They're not designated as Highland, but land beyond it on both sides is. And I don't know why it's designated that way, but if we ever wanted to develop a road called Highland that actually physically existed, we couldn't do it if we sold this property.
Well, I would like to see the letter from the law director.
Well, I've
First.
spoke to the law director, and we can certainly ask for that, and he's not in
Well, I
favor
thought
of
that's
it.
what Mr. Fosnight said, that he was working on it. Is that
Yeah.
That's
where?
what he said, I told him what was in our emails, and he said he would start looking into it, so.
So he said he's not in favor of this?
He agreed that there are public uses for it to me. Now, that's not definitive, and he
say that to
maybe
you?
can change his mind, but I think the 4 uses, or at least 4 uses I've
But
defined are pretty clear.
I think that we are stepping outside of our scope here, saying that the council is going to determine that first. I think we should wait
Well-
and see what the law director
Well,
puts in
that's
writing.
fine. I know it doesn't
Because
say
it's a
that
moot
here.
point, because if he provides Mr. Fosnight with a letter that says, I'm sorry, but whatever the reasons, it has these such and such public uses, and we won't be able to provide a statement saying that we can go forward with this, then it doesn't matter. Do you
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that what you're saying. But even if he did say, in my opinion, as law director, there's no public use, it still has to come back to council
Well,
for
right,
it to.
at that point, it'll come to council, but I'm saying if we
okay.
don't have, I don't want to sit here and conjecture because we have 13 minutes left of this committee. I would like to see what Mr. Semino comes up with.
And I feel bad that he's been kind of strung along this whole way. It seems if, you're been told one thing, and yet we can't really do anything at this point
Yeah, I get
anyway.
it.
I'm really sorry.
I'm a patient person, so that's not a problem. But if I could close with just a couple of thoughts. One would be, if Highland Avenue was ever opened so that it allowed State Route 14 traffic in, it would ruin the neighborhood.
It would.
It would turn it into a freeway. And that
I
was part
agree.
of my thought behind this, was whether I would ever be allowed to put a building there or not, or use 15 feet of it to put a building there, is kind of not that big a deal to me, because what I'd like to do is protect the neighborhood. I'm not gonna be around that much longer or forever. Frank Semino's not. I mean, a lot of the neighbors are elderly, but we're concerned about what'll happen to the neighborhood if they did ever open it up. If it was opened up, they would either come in by the highway patrol, or they would come in the street prior to that, or they would come in if it was ever connected up to 14 directly.
Oh, I agree.
It would
They're
be a
gonna-
zoo.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it would not be a safe neighborhood for kids.
No.
So I thank you for your continued patience.
But the last thought would be, it is a property that's not being used. There's no benefit to the city in terms of tax benefits. If I
Right.
put a $100,000 garage on it, then you have tax benefit.
Yes.
That's my thought.
That's one
And I'm
of,
willing to stay in Ravenna. I've lived here for 70-plus years now. And I made the commitment. The rest of my siblings didn't make the commitment, and a lot of people don't. So why not, improve the city? My thought.
I don't disagree on any of your
Yeah.
points. I want to make sure that we're on the process and that the administration, Mr. Semino, is, doing what he needs to do, because we really can't do anything actionable without that.
Right. And who's to say it would even pass and be approved by zoning? Might not be, but at least I would have prevented a potential problem, 20 years, 50 years from now? Who knows when, but if that ever happened, at least it wouldn't be an issue.
Well, as a representative, a council at large, I would like citizens to walk away from this process feeling like your council representation did their due diligence and a thorough job and really listened to you, and that's what's important.
Well, and I appreciate being heard.
Well, yeah, certainly. Well, thank you, and thank you for taking the time to share things with your property and take me on a little tour. So,
Thank you so much.
thank you. All right. The next item, purchase of the parking lot at Spruce and Meridian. We actually got a, I want to say that we got the number we were looking for.
Yeah, so the tracking sheet that I submitted is requesting the appropriation and authorizing the mayor to sign the documents that need to be signed for the transaction.
We don't have a tracking sheet.
Yeah. I don't have the tracking sheet. Well, the good news is that they accepted our offer. We don't get to say that very often. So there's nothing that we could do with this right now, right? Other than, could we move it on without the tracking sheet?
We didn't prepare an endorsement for that one. We can draft one up. And even though it doesn't meet the requirements of going through committee with a tracking sheet, the committee of the whole can bring it up and we can vote on it. But it will require an endorsement.
Are you sure it just didn't get lost in the shuffle somewhere?
No, because I remember the dollar amount that I placed on it, so it's somewhere in limbo. I'm pretty sure I did.
Bring up the dollar amount when we talk about it
Okay.
in the committee of the whole in a few minutes.
Okay. So there's that one. Management update.
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Look at this. Everybody was worried my committee would run over. Here we are at 5:51.